Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of The Night Sky. This week I'm your host Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy. This is October 30th, 2023. Another week's gone by. I hope you got some stargazing done. Maybe perhaps you saw a few things in the night sky. You can share that in the comments, and I'd love to see where you're watching from. Where are you joining me today? From anywhere in the world, where you are. I'd love to see that put into the comments and share where you're watching from. And if you find value in this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button or follow me on my Facebook page, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever it is. Please do follow. Give it a big thumbs up if you find value in this video. It means a lot in supporting my efforts of bringing these videos every week into your homes. Well, you know, I'm in Montreal. It's been cloudy and cold. We actually had some snow. We had about, I would say about an inch of snow the last 24 hours. Surprise, I wasn't expecting it. Luckily, I did my yard work, lots of leaves to do it. But, you know, there was some breaks in the clouds and it was really beautiful. I don't know if you've caught the beautiful the Hunter's full moon that was on Saturday night. Did you get to see it? Was it clear where you were? Or maybe partly clear. Where I was here, Montreal, it was kind of like a thin layer of clouds with some bright kind of holes in the clouds. I could every once in a while see it. It was actually beautiful, hauntingly beautiful. It's the Hunter's full moon that we had this Saturday, and this comes 2 weeks after we had a full lunar, a full eclipse, which was like an annular eclipse where the moon actually went in front of the sun. I don't know if you saw a partial eclipse. I actually managed to see a little partial eclipse. That was on October 14th. And 2 weeks later, we had the full moon. And it wasn't just the full moon this Saturday. I don't know if you were in in Europe or Africa or Asia, and maybe in the Atlantic provinces of Canada, and maybe you saw a little bit of a bite taken out of the moon, a little shadow of the earth sort of glancing over, brushing over just the edge of the moon's disk. This was a partial lunar eclipse that we had this past Saturday. So really cool, 2 weeks right after the solar eclipse. Really, really nice. Of course, the big solar eclipse is coming on, I believe, April 8th, 2024. So in 6 months from now. And that's going to grace the skies of North America once again. Really cool. Are you going to be watching that? Are you traveling perhaps for the solar eclipse? Love to hear that in the comments. See folks from Buenos Aires. Sergio, nice to see you here. Jackie from Alberta is here. Lynn from England. So nice of all of you to join us. Keep putting in where you're watching from. I'd love to hear and see actually where all my viewers are, where my friends, stargazing friends are. So without further ado, why don't we just jump right into the planetarium program? Of course, I'm using Sky Safari Pro, which I like to use, and representing here the skies on October 30th, just the night before Halloween. This is the eve of Halloween. And Halloween skies are a little bit spooky and scary, very appropriately so. And this is basically just after sunset, looking towards the southwestern skies. It's set right here, mid-northern latitudes. So this encompasses most of Europe, most of North America, northern Central Asia as well. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, it'll be skewed in a different orientation. But a lot of these objects that I'm talking about are visible. Now, what's interesting, before I kind of move into the skies in depth, I wanted you to notice that the northern summer triangle is still visible. I know, it's called the summer triangle, this asterism of 3 of the brightest stars in the summertime, but it's still around. And a lot of people, think when we're talking about different constellations we mention, astronomers mention that they're associated with a typical season. It doesn't mean that it's only visible at that season. It's just centered around this one particular season that it's best to view in the early evening skies. And the summer triangle, which is, of course, each point in the triangle represents an individual constellation, a star that is the brightest of its representative constellation. It's really neat that we can still see this asterism, the summer triangle, despite turning the calendar into November this week. It's incredible. So if you are particularly anywhere across the northern hemisphere, check this out. We can still view, looking towards the southwest, about an hour. Here's 2 hours after sunset, where it gets completely dark. Look for these bright, bright stars in the southwest. Leading the charge will be Vega, of course. Vega is the brightest of the lot. Then you have here Deneb, which is the head of the Northern Cross, or Cygnus the Swan. You can see it's the tail end, the back end of the swan. And then you have Altair down here, which is part of Aquila the Eagle. So you have Aquila the Eagle, you have Cygnus with Deneb leading the charge there in that constellation, and then you have Vega, which is part of Lyra the Harp, a very minor, small constellation, but visible despite it being so small, still visible to the naked eye. All 3 of these stars are visible even from city limits. So even if you're stuck within the city and you can't get out of all that light pollution, still it's worth trying to view this summer triangle. And it's a great way to begin learning your way to navigate the night sky, because you get a great 3-for-1 deal, right? You get 3 different constellations that you can track down thanks to these very bright stars that represent those constellations. So we talked a lot about it throughout summertime and most of fall, and here we are, still late fall, turning the calendar to November, and we're still talking about the summer triangle. It's still something that you should avail yourself to look at. It's really beautiful, dominating, like I said, the southwestern skies in the evening times. So check that out. Now, if we turn our attention towards the southeast in the evening, you'll see a yellow, very bright yellow star. It's the brightest in this part of the sky, in the southern sky. That is planet Saturn. So great view of Saturn, and it's just, this is the best time to see it. It's the brightest and biggest in our telescopes. It's considered opposition time, so this is really a great time to see it. Check it out. And don't forget, of course, if you have a telescope, you can see the rings of Saturn. So if you kind of zoom in, like I'm going to do here magically in this planetarium program, I'll show you what the view is. There you go. And it has its hosting, of course, its retinue of moons. And of course, it holds like the record of having the most moons, but Saturn is really hosting a lot that are visible through backyard telescopes, small backyard telescopes. It could be, I'm sure some of you are surprised, but yes, you can see some of the big moons of Saturn. Leading the charge, of course, is Titan. And then you have others like Iapetus, Hyperion, Tethys, Rhea, Dion, Mimas. These are all visible kind of in different positions around Saturn. And if you watch it day to day, I mean night to night, you'll see a change in their appearance, of their location around Saturn. But that's all happening in the constellation Aquarius. So check that out. Any time this week is great. So not any one particular time. And then you've got Jupiter rising in the mid-evening times in the east. Now, this is by far the brightest star-like object, the pinpoint of light that's brighter than any of the other stars that are in this part of the sky in mid-evening. Jupiter is found in the Aries, the Ram zodiacal constellation. And what's interesting is you'll find, this is again Monday, October 30th, you'll see the moon 2 days past its full moon stage, right? When we had our lunar eclipse as well, you'll find it rising in the constellation Taurus the Bull. So this is around 9 o'clock p.m. Local time, wherever you are. This is the view looking towards the east with the beautiful waning gibbous moon rising in Taurus the Bull. And around it, around the moon, despite its glare, there's some interesting things that you'll notice. With the naked eye, right away, you'll notice that there should be two yellow orangey stars to one side of the moon, while on the other side will be Jupiter. So kind of on the opposite side of where Jupiter is to the moon, you'll find Capella, and a true star in the constellation Auriga. And then you'll have the red eye of the bull, or orange eye of the bull. Really, it's not really red, but it's more orange, is the eye of the bull, Taurus zodiacal constellation. And that's where the moon is located. It's a pretty big constellation, takes up a big chunk of sky real estate. And it's just gorgeous to really look at that tonight, on Monday night. If you have clear skies on Monday, October 30th, take your binoculars out. Check out these beautiful star collections that are around it. And Jupiter, Capella, and Aldebaran, the three of these bright points of light, will have at their center of this triangular formation the moon. So you can kind of orient yourself that way, I think, is imagining that the moon is in the middle of this triangular shape made up of three very bright points of light, of which two of them are real stars, right? Capella and Aldebaran, and Jupiter is, of course, a planet. It's shining because of the reflected light from the sun, reflecting off the cloud tops of this very, very large planet, the largest planet in our solar system. So if we kind of move to later at night, say around 11 o'clock at night, you'll see that collection of the moon with those bright stars rising higher up into the eastern skies. Really just a beautiful, beautiful collection. And now if we move kind of a day later into, say, Tuesday, what are you going to see? Well, the moon is going to now wedge itself in between, kind of sandwich between Capella on one side, and then you've got Aldebaran, that eye of the bull, on the other side of the moon. These two bright stars are now on bookending the beautiful moon, which is now, again, waxing gibbous moon, 3 days past its full moon phase. Also, don't forget, Jupiter is going to be right up there, still visible. I mean, all week long is just gorgeous to be able to see that. Now, what else is really neat is that you've got also this beautiful star cluster. I didn't mention this on Monday night because the moon's glare is just going to overcompensate, kind of blind you from being able to see this star cluster. But the star cluster is right between Capella and Jupiter. And with the moon moving away from the star cluster, you should be able to easily see it with binoculars. And this star cluster is called the Pleiades star cluster. So on Halloween night, and this is again the 31st of October, this is something that you can go out if you're trick-or-treating, you've got kids with you. This is something that's fun to look at. If you have clear skies, this is something that you'll see mid to late evening, rising in the east. that moon will be surrounded still by these bright celestial objects. It's really neat to be able to see that. And one other, if you wait a little bit later at night, it's like I said, around, say, 11 o'clock, what will be rising is a very traditional wintertime constellation in the northern hemisphere. For those of you in the summertime, this is a signature of summer skies, is Orion the Hunter. And the Orion the Hunter is a constellation that's visible pretty much everywhere around the world, wherever you're watching from. This is a significant constellation, not just in terms of its brightness, but also because it's a great place to start learning the night sky. It points to different things. And I'll talk more about that in the coming weeks and months. Show you how to use Orion in navigating the night sky. And what will be interesting, of course, leading the charge in Orion is Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is this very powerful, bright star. It's a dying star. We call it a red giant. It's about 550 light years away, and it'll be below the moon. So if you want to take a gigantic triangular formation, you have Capella, Jupiter, and you have Betelgeuse, three yellowish orange stars, and in the middle will be the moon and also Aldebaran inside that triangle. Really beautiful stuff. I will post sky charts for all of this in the coming days. And if we kind of continue moving later into the week, by November 1st, this is the sky. You can see the moon will have hopped in between the constellations of Gemini and Auriga. It'll actually be inside the borders of Gemini, the twins constellation. The moon will be on November 1st, Wednesday, and it's heading towards the two bright stars in Gemini, Castor and Pollux. So if we just pop it forward to Thursday, again, Thursday late night around 10, 11 o'clock local time, the later you wait, the higher the moon will rise in the northeastern sky, higher. So if you can wait until midnight or 1 in the morning, you'll notice that they'll be rising higher into the sky, easier perhaps from your vantage point to see. Maybe you have buildings and trees or something in the way, or hills and stuff. Then if you just wait a little bit and be patient, you'll see what's really neat is that the moon will be forming a triangle with Castor and Pollux, the two main bright stars in the constellation Gemini. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous sight for the three of them like that. And let me just zoom out again a bit. There we go. And if we kind of move later at night, so I'm going to move this until around midnight. This is the view around midnight. By Friday, October 30th, this is Friday. I should say November 3rd. This is Friday, November 3rd. Getting all mixed up with my dates here. And then what will be interesting by Saturday, okay, this is Friday night into Saturday morning. So late Friday night, Saturday morning, that kind of time period, the moon will be below the pair of Gemini stars. So you'll have that kind of crooked line, and it'll be positioned in the constellation Cancer, the crab, the moon will be by the weekend. So this is late Saturday night. The moon will be a quarter moon. It'll be a last quarter moon. So half of the moon's disk will be illuminated, as you can see, and it'll be in the clutches of the celestial crab. Cancer, the crab. And this again is basically late Saturday night into Sunday morning. You'll probably get a better view after midnight local time to see this. And again, something that'll be visible pretty much around the world. Really a beautiful, beautiful sight. So there you go, folks. Another great week. We are using the moon, as you can see, finding our way around the night sky, learning about where different constellations are, positions of stars, using the moon as a guidepost in traveling across the night sky. It doesn't get any easier than that. I love using the moon because it's something that we can all see with the naked eye, and it's something that is visible even under light-polluted skies. You don't have to go out to the countryside, use a large telescope, or anything like that to really begin having fun doing some stargazing. It's open to everyone. It's really easy. The barriers are very low, And I'm hoping that I've stimulated you to get outside, put on that coat or jacket or maybe a hat and stand outside for 10-15 minutes just to get oriented and see some of these cool things. And perhaps maybe you've seen them already. I don't know. Maybe you've walked the dog and seen some of these things. So thanks so much, everyone from Mississippi to Greece, all over the world, wherever you are. If you find value in this video, don't forget, I also have a book out by National Geographic. It's a bestseller. It's called Backyard Guide to the Night Sky, and it's constantly ranked as one of the top 3 to 5 books in stargazing that's on the market right now, and that's thanks to you guys. It's available wherever fine books are sold. And also, I'm selling signed, dedicated copies. If you're interested, maybe as a gift for someone for the holiday season, now is a great time to start thinking about that. I am dedicating and personally signing them for international sales. It's available on my website, thenightskyguide.com. I also have the Stargazer's Atlas, a huge book, 6.5-pound coffee table book. It's the absolute amazing lexicon of everything that you can think of regarding the night sky and humanity's connection to it, all 88 constellations with their mythology and lots of tours of the night sky in there. So lots of fun things in that book. Again, I'm selling dedicated, personally dedicated signed copies, international sales. So if you're interested in a gift, perhaps that is something nice as well to think about. Hey, listen, if you found any kind of value in this video, had fun learning about a few things, and it's helping you in stargazing, please consider subscribing to my channel. It means a lot. Sharing the videos, giving it a thumbs up, all that good stuff that you can do means so much to me because it allows me to keep providing these videos every week for free. And hey, astronomy is an awesome hobby, and I'd love to share my passion with all of you guys, each and every one of you. I'm so appreciative of your support. So thanks again. I'll see you all on the next video. Until then, clear skies. Bye-bye.